While we wait for the Lord of Iron himself to show up on the screens, today we will focus on the ground troops that form the bulk of the 4th Legion. JOYTOY has released 2 separate sets of these figures, with the Chosen with a banner and the new Mark 6 Legionary arriving after the Legionaries with the Mark 3 power armor. I personally love the latter design more, and this is an upgraded one. Having waited so long will give us the opportunity to look at all of them in one shot. Let's see the Iron within. Let's immediately open the Chosen, because having a huge banner immediately catches the attention. He also comes with a plasma pistol and a powersword. No idea how he's able to manage all of this stuff, but the bare head's green tells me that it is not easy. The other Mark III I want to open is the Vox guy, because of his trademark Picalaube helmet, and a backpack with additional communication equipment. He has a classic bolter plasma pistol as weaponry, so nothing exceptional, but, you know, we needed some more Mark III to show. Once assembled, let's immediately verify the height, which is consistent with the proclaimed 12.5 cm across the board, ignoring the crest and the backpack. The Mark 6 comes with 2 additional heads that can be reused with other figures. These are Iron Warriors in the end. If something is functional, then it is fit for use and purpose. New pauldrons for a much better lateral raise, and by default a Corvus helmet that looks neat, even if the beaky does not allow for much range of movement left and right. But it is enough unless you want to play a possessed marine. The Mark 6 is a very clean armor design, which, coupled with the uniform metal grey color, gives the figure a quite professional no-frills look. We only care for the raw functionality here. In addition to the multiple heads, you also have the grenades and accessories to attach to the belt, for more variety I guess. For example, we'll have these explosive scrolls, because culture never fails to make an impression, and the more classic pistol in a holster, which is my personal favorite. The accessories fits in the peg hole without even hitting them, so this is a welcome feature. If we look at the alternative heads, they are both flat-nosed, but one of them has a metal crest, which I don't know how practical it is in combat conditions, but surely looks very Adeptus Mechanicus-like. Let's take a look at our beloved Mark III Legionaries instead, starting from the crested Chosen and his golden armor rims. First of all, this is an upgraded Mark III mold with a revised armor profile and the new improved pauldron articulations. The head looks a bit squeezed, but this is expected, I think. The Mark III power armor has a much more steampunk look, with all the rivets, tubings and many armor details that contrast positively, in my opinion, with the Mark 6. Legs articulations are pretty good backward, also thanks to the double joint in the knee articulation, while frontally the cool groin plate is a bit of an impediment. I guess we are trading agility for additional protection to critical areas, so I approve the design. While I like the other stripes around, let's move to what I believe to be the only real limitation. The ankle joints, which are very low and, coupled with the armor profile, negate the ability to any side movement. Another close look at this handsome lad, and I really believe that I will put his head on one of the Vox guys. That antenna makes this an easy call, and I will recycle that pointy helmet for some other figure. Which essentially means one of the Mark III standard legionaries, one of the Vox guys with the communication equipment, probably. There is not much to add here, since these Mark III legionaries are just less adorned variants of the Chosen legionary. Compared to each other, I can't find any other difference between them other than the mentioned backpack and helmet. The sergeant has this white crested helmet that makes him stand out among the ranks, but I would personally prefer another standard Mark III legionary with at least 3 head options for army building. Are you expected to build your grand battalion with an army of sergeants? Probably yes. Articulation wise, nothing to mention compared to the Chosen. These are grand soldiers born for siege warfare. Standard is good for them. Once you put all of them together, you have a more impressive team, with the Chosen leading the charge into the breach of this yet another wall, and the others following you mercilessly, shooting at any survivors, in full Warhammer style. Well, at least in theory, because in my case they look more like they are just standing for a review from their officers. But, you know, they are very disciplined soldiers, waiting for orders and executing them relentlessly. Personally, the Chosen and his banner have been my most welcome surprise. I like his style, which is simple and plain in full Iron Warrior style, while still capturing their spirit. This is a really cool banner. When talking about weapons, there is not much to say. We have the classic Legionaries bolt rifle and plasma pistol, no melee options for these Mark III soldiers. The Mark VI Legionary comes with a leather belt and a bayonet attached to the bolt rifle, to make him lead the charge, apparently, even if that tiny frame makes him not the best person for the job. Talking about melee options, the Chosen and Mark VI Legionary instead come with the powerswords, probably for better representing the forlorn hope attitude of the Legion. I really hope that we will see more Iron Warriors in the future. This Legion needs more units, including dreadnoughts and maybe tank units. The first comparison that comes to my mind is between the old and the new Mark VI Legionaries. The sergeant from the Sons of Horus has volunteered for the comparison, and we can immediately spot that the Iron Warrior has longer legs, but a less bulky torso. In addition, even the pauldrons look smaller, conferring the figure an overall pencil-like outline. No idea for the decision, since this makes the entire figure look like very thin and fragile, not what you want for your Astartes. I would have preferred the Mark IV power armor instead, or some other Mark III variant. As it is, the current Mark VI design is okayish, but not optimal for this Legion. The real value that Mark VI gives to the team is the amount of additional head options for more variety across your Mark III Legionaries, which is what I did for mine. Compared to older Mark III designs, the main difference is the pauldron and the helmet. I would have personally preferred the old helmets, but the new bodies are a great improvement in my opinion, with better proportions and improved articulations. For some reason they simply look much better compared to older models. I say that the Mark IV would have been a better option than the Mark VI, and the chapter console is here to back my opinion. Imagine this one in bare metal color. Awesome. And they are not small guys. For example, compared to Sigismund, they seem to pose more like a challenge to him. And the same for the handsome Blood Angel's praetor with his power sword. These are not easy to get rid of legionaries. Let's bring a Cataphracti Terminator to better frame the comparison in the end. Of course, we are talking of different levels of bulkiness. I would have personally liked the real army builder in Mark III power armor. Instead, I had to leverage the different heads coming from the Mark VI to bring some more variety to my Grand Battalion. Well, more like a small detachment, but we do what we can with the available shelf space. First of all, the new Mark III designs are great looking, but the ankle joints need to have more clearances. Also, more pointy helmets or real Mark III army builder will have welcome too. The Mark VI is the less slender guy because of the reduced torso size. While I like the increased height, I think that the pencil-like armor does not fit the Iron Warriors, but I welcome the multiple helmet options. The overall paint job is simple but straight to the point, with a nice metallic look that suits them. Hazard strips are a great touch. All in all, these Iron Warriors have been a great release. Army building is possible, and the real issue is that we don't have enough of them for more variety. Well, unless we go for secondary markets or customs, but this is another story. Having said that, I wish you a nice rest of the day trying to break wall after wall, grinding that fortress down.